Just a quick pause to explain what today's video is all about. Last Wednesday we did the range test on the Caddx Gazer, and as I promised, today we are checking out how this FPV cam performs at night. Honestly, this is why I haven't switched to digital yet. I don't think there's a digital FPV camera out there that can perform as well at night and still show color. Oh, and if you missed last week's video on the range test, I've got the link in the description below. So for those who are new to this, I've got the analog video in the top right corner and the rest is from the action cam. It's 6:41 PM right now and there's still a lot of dusk light. But what's really cool to check out at dusk are the power lines. I have no clue why they glow like that until about 7:15 PM and the action cam doesn't pick it up. If anyone has any explanation as to why this is happening, please drop a comment below. I plan to fast forward at different intervals and resume normal playback speed to see how each camera performs as it gets darker. It's around 7 PM now and it's getting dark pretty quickly. I need you to now look closely at the lights that seem to be at the far end of the road as the RC approaches the source of the lights. This is important because once we get close enough, I will point out the main weakness or disadvantage of having an FPV camera that performs well at night. Oh, I also forgot to mention earlier that this is the first time I have had the FPV split screen this big. I did this so that it can be easier for us to see the differences more easily. Now that we are close enough, I can point out one of the biggest limitations of this FPV camera, which most of you have probably already noticed. At this distance, the action camera can clearly tell that the light is coming from two separate headlights, but the FPV camera can't distinguish between them. They just merge into one large, bright source of light. So why does this happen? An FPV camera designed for low light performance must capture both very dark and very bright parts of a scene simultaneously, but the sensor has physical limits. Think of every pixel on the sensor as a tiny bucket that collects light. In the dark, very few photons reach each bucket, so the camera boosts its sensitivity to brighten the image. But when bright headlights suddenly appear, though in this case the lights did not suddenly appear, millions of photons hit those pixels almost instantly. The buckets fill up and can't collect any more light. This is called pixel saturation, and once that happens, the camera loses detail in those bright areas, making the two headlights appear as one large blown-out light source. Just a reminder, our goal for today's video is to evaluate how the FPV camera performs when it's this dark. I really appreciate how some analog cameras excel in daylight and still deliver impressive results at night. Trust me, this FPV camera will surprise you. At the moment, it's yet to get this dark. We are gradually learning how this FPV cam adapts as it gets darker. I think I've kept you waiting long enough, so let's get straight to the point where it gets dark enough. Now this is what we have all been waiting for. It's time for the Caddx Gazer to reveal its true colors. I will now stop the fast playback speed so that you can clearly see how much easier it is to identify objects and people from a distance with the analog camera compared to the action camera. Our goal now is to drive to the farthest point of this road, which happens to be the darkest area, and see what happens. I'm considering installing infrared lights instead of these regular headlights to prevent glare on the wheels. However, the downside is that the action camera wouldn't capture anything. Not to mention that switching to infrared lights would raise safety concerns about how cars and motorbikes would avoid colliding with me. It's a tough choice. I hope I've convinced you to consider switching back to analog if you're currently using a digital FPV camera at night.